Hey!
Hey, I'm CJ,
And I'm Robin.
and welcome to the Cozy Kitchen.
Come and make yourself comfortable here with us by the fire.
Let's chat about baking, friendship, and cozy hobbies. And if there's time and enough tea, maybe we'll even unravel some traumatic backstories.
I mean, there should always be enough tea.
Well, hello, Robin.
Hi, CJ. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. I am super excited to talk with you today because today's subject is all about keeping up with the baking hobby while maintaining health goals. Because I feel like we're still in that part of the year where, we're just getting things rolling, and there's a lot of talk about health goals, and, maybe people want to lose weight, and there's still a lot of that going around. And I think that it's like important to talk about how baking as a hobby fits in with all of that.
Yeah, let's dive right in. I think with baking, often people think of like baking desserts,
Mhm.
cookies, cakes,
Yes.
and there are a lot of preconceived notions about how healthy those products are. And
Hmm.
you and I have worked in this space for some time, and we
Yep.
know that holding those preconceived notions can be, I wouldn't say like detrimental, but it can hinder a healthy relationship with food.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of psychological studies, particularly from Stanford's Mind and Body Lab, and from a lot of very well renowned academia sources that have said that whenever you put food on a pedestal and you label food as good or bad, it simultaneously makes fruits and vegetables less desirable while making the foods that you might want to have more in moderation way more desirable. And I feel like there's a lot that we can still work on in terms of how we talk to ourselves about our food. So let me ask you this, CJ. Maybe you have a certain health goal. Maybe it's, to eat less added sugar or eat less salt or anything. I remember you did do a challenge where you ate less salt during your days. How, if you wanted to bake in the middle of doing that goal, how did you manage it? Like, did you, like substitute things? Did you try and fit it into your day? Did you make exceptions for it? Did you only bake for the purpose of baking and not indulge at all and then just to share it with everybody else? Like, how did you manage that?
I think that there are so many ways to manage it, and I think I've tried them all. There is the what I call the foist,
This
where
is just the way that you said it, it gave me this picture in my head of like you running on like a track and field kind of an event, and you have this cake in your hand, and you do like a shot put where you just toss it to the nearest person.
that's not too off from what it actually happens.
Oh Lord.
Oh, man. I mean, I remember bringing one of those cakes to work, and that's kind of like a foist.
I see it. I see what you're saying. And that was the other thing about, because we both used to work in an office, and whenever you work in an office, it's easier to get rid of your bakes if
Yeah.
you don't want it in your house.
Yeah. So I think like a lot of the joy in baking is the ability to like feel good making something you're proud of and sharing it with others who find it enjoyable to eat. They are like, wow, this is really tasty. And so that is 0 calories.
Yeah.
So
It's
so
true.
there's that strategy there. But then if I like only use that strategy and end up being like you have this building tension inside of like, oh, but I want to taste some of that good stuff like the
Mhm.
butter and the sugar, and those are things that our body naturally gravitates towards because that is rare in nature to have so much condensed like fat and carbohydrates in one place,
Yeah.
that your body is naturally just wired to go after those things. And we shouldn't try to repress that. And so what I try to do if I am on um like cutting or like trying to lose weight or something, I do it in moderation. It might just take you a little bit longer to lose that weight, but you don't want to like at the detriment of your own mental health.
Mhm.
um, just like depriving yourself of something that your body clearly says, I want this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also a question of like how sustainable is it? Because nobody wants to be 85 years old and logging in their journal that they ate a banana for breakfast and that they already used up 100 calories for the day. Like I feel like the whole point of healthy goals is to turn them into habits that you can do every single day.
Yep.
And if cutting out every single thing that you bake, never getting to enjoy it ever again, that is never going to be sustainable. So I believe that, and this is just my own personal philosophy, take it or leave it, whatever works for you. But I think that finding a way to integrate the things that you're baking into your day, into your diet from the very beginning, I think is going to be far more beneficial than just going at a full sprint and being like, okay, today's the day, no more cookies. I'll bake for everybody else, but not for myself. Like, that's so sad, you know? Like, you just, like,
Yeah.
you in the same way that we bake to show each other love, we have to also bake to show love to ourselves, and it's just very special to enjoy something that you've put time and effort into making in the same way that you would enjoy a lasagna that you've put a lot of care into making, or you would enjoy a delicious salad that maybe you roasted the veggies that go into it.
Yes, and I think being a baker or someone who cooks is
Mhm.
part of our identity.
Yes.
So if you were to enjoy the making cookies or
Mhm.
making a cake and deny yourself that ability to enjoy that, then
Mhm.
there's a part of you that is dying there. And
Yes.
like tell me about like, how you balance it. Like
Mhm.
when was the last time that you wanted to make a change in like for losing weight or something,
Mhm.
change in your body? How you balance that with your identity as a baker?
I love that question. And I think I've lost a lot of stamina for counting calories because I've been counting my calories since I was about 12 years old. And I've been trying to lose weight since I was maybe like 10 or 11.
Mhm.
Not good. Don't do that. 10, 11, 12-year olds should not have to worry about their weight, especially not to that extent. But I did. So I've been burnt out on calorie counting for the longest time. So instead of that, I have been focusing on finding out how I can have fewer added sugars. So added sugars are a big one for me. And I actually did this while you and I worked together. I did a little experiment where I cut out added sugars completely for I think it was either a week or 2 weeks. I can't remember.
Mhm.
And even just that short amount of time made such a substantial difference. I was focusing more on the things that I could eat rather than focusing on the things that I couldn't. It's not the perfect solution for everything, but it did make me more mindful of not only what I was eating, but why I was eating it. And that's something that I try very much to incorporate into my day now. Because ever since I broke my wrist about 2 years ago, and anytime I break a bone, I've broken several over my life. Every time it happens, I gain weight because I'm not moving quite as much. I
Mhm.
have to have a recovery period. So I gained weight as a result of that.
Mhm.
And it's been a long journey to figuring out how I can get that off.
Mhm.
So the way that I balance it, this is a very long story. I'm so sorry.
No.
The way that I balance everything basically is being mindful of my added sugar intake. So if I can avoid added sugars for, my main meals, then that means that I can enjoy the added sugars in like a dessert after dinner or something.
Mhm.
So I do that. I also keep up with my exercise. I go and I run 3 days a week and I do weightlifting 2 days a week. And then, in addition to all of that, in order to keep my mindset from straying into restrictive territory, I
Mhm.
focus on what I can add to my diet. So if I want a slice of chocolate cake, I will have that slice of chocolate cake, but I put strawberries and bananas on the side. And it's like, I have to focus on what I can add because so much of my life up until this point has only focused on what needs to go. And
Mm,
again, going back to the sustainability factor, that is not sustainable.
yeah.
So that's how I do it. And I'm curious as to hear like your perspective on the whole thing. Like, do you have certain like nutrition goals that you're trying to keep up with this year? And how could baking, I guess, like, how do you think baking could help with those goals, if anything?
Mhm,
I'm curious. Like,
mhm.
I don't like thinking of baking as something that's only a detriment. How do you think baking could help you reach your goals?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that like this year I health wise I've also too have done the calorie counting and that just is not sustainable at all.
Yeah.
And so I will never do again because it makes food just so clinical and it's not even accurate, you know.
No, it really isn't. I mean, we did research on this once before. There's a pretty steep percentage of error in just about every kind of calorie count. And if you're having a meal, it's like you have to calculate, oh, here are the tablespoons of oil that I put in. This is how many, teaspoons of salt. The eggplant that I used was, weighed about this much. It's so exhausting. Like, and I don't know how anybody does it.
Yeah, yeah, it's just so unnatural. And so at this point in my life, I've resorted to listening to my body. It's like the French way where, if your pants don't fit, then, you just gotta cut it, maybe your portion size. You're
Mhm.
still gonna have that delicious croissant, you know.
Mhm.
But you just listen to your body. And it's interesting that you mentioned like you avoid the added sugar. And I think that's a great strategy. And the way I do it is for some reason, my tongue
Mhm.
will detect added sugar. And if
Interesting.
I have something that is extra like sugar laden,
Mhm.
like my mouth will go sour within 15 minutes of eating that stuff.
Really? You mean like you start to taste sour, like you've bitten into a lemon or something?
It's worse than lemon. It's just this really icky feeling. It's not like the tangy, like freshness of a lemon. It's more like this, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just this awful feeling in my mouth.
Hmm.
And my husband is like, he likes sweets a lot too, and he doesn't get this because we'll
Mhm.
have the same thing. And I was like, oh, this just makes my mouth feel icky. And he doesn't get that at all. So I listen to that. And it's really strange because just recently I had this burdock tea. Burdock is this root that is often eaten in Asian cultures. Like they stir fry this root. It's almost like a carrot, but it's very long.
Oh,
Um,
neat.
yeah, and they stir fry it in Japan and in Korea they make this tea and I was at an H Mart recently, so I wanted to get some herbal tea, something that didn't have caffeine in it.
Mhm.
And this tea itself, like it doesn't taste exactly sweet, but after drinking it, like I could tell my mouth was getting this feeling of, oh, there's a lot of some sort of like carbohydrate that reacts just like sugar in my mouth. And like
Wow.
started to avoid this tea as well. So I really listened to my body. And then on the other end, I'm not going to get into details,
Mhm.
but the other end will also tell me whether I am suitable with this stuff. I find that my body reacts best with the leafy greens.
Mhm.
So then I feel good.
Mhm.
And when I do that, that just makes me want to eat that stuff more. So, like leafy
Cool.
greens, vegetable roast. And so you talk about baking. I want to do more baking this year. And I think baking is what you make of it. You
Yeah.
can make everything. Like, it's such a great tool. You just pop it in, and it's this passive time that you stick it in, and it's going to be ready when it comes out, like
Mhm.
roasted like cauliflower or roasted Brussels sprouts. Yeah, add some oil, toss it in some oil, a little
Mhm,
spices, salt and pepper, and it's just so easy to do.
mhm.
So I want to do a lot more baking this year.
Nice. I love that. And how do you think you would incorporate like veggies, herbs, fruit, etc.? Like, do you think that you would incorporate any other more nutritious elements into your bakes, or do you think that it would be one of those things where you would bake whatever you wanted and then find ways to add that into your day in ways that made sense and ways that kind of supported your overall health goals? Like, do you have a preference for one or the other?
It's gonna be balanced. I'm definitely gonna do more roasted veggies, which, I did before, but I think this year I have kind of a New Year's resolution of
Mhm.
baking more, and that actually includes more pies. Um,
Oh, yes.
I want to make more of the like British savory pies, like meat pies.
Yes. Oh, that would be very good. And there's a lot of opportunity to add veggies into those, I would imagine.
Yes, there are definitely like a pot pie. You can have the root vegetables and like peas. So I want to do more of that this year because it seems like you could bake those ahead of time, put it in the
Mhm.
freezer, and then reheat it.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like one of the things that I've started doing more in my day is like I will find ways to just add veggies to whatever the main dish is that I'm making because like it's a very American thing to be like, here is your meat, here is your starch, here is your vegetable, and it's all very separated. But nowadays, I don't have the time or energy to eat a salad and then go on to the rest of my dinner. So
Hmm.
I will add veggies wherever I can to the actual meal. So, for instance, if I'm making like spaghetti and meat sauce, I add an absolute crap ton of veggies to my sauce. That's where I add mushrooms and onions and spinach and sometimes even like sweet potatoes or something. And then that way you can just eat it and you are getting your serving of veggies and you're not having to think too hard about it,
Yep.
and it feels like your pot pie, British baking endeavors for the year are it seems like they're following in line with that, where it can just be a package deal
Yeah.
and veggies don't have to be an afterthought. They don't have to come with all of this extra effort and trial and error and it just, here it is, eat it, enjoy.
Yes, yes. It can be the star. It
Yes.
doesn't always have to be the steak or the potatoes or like vegetables can have that spotlight.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy it. You can definitely like, at least when I listen to my body, I know those are the things that I really enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, and a fun thing that I learned, so I follow a lot of registered dietitians on my Instagram,
Hmm.
and there's this one, and she's talked a lot about eating healthy, even when it's very difficult, even when your environment is not set up for you to eat healthy. And
Hmm.
she said, hey, if you're struggling to get in a veggie, potatoes absolutely count as your vegetable for the day. And I really appreciated that she mentioned that. And like you said, vegetables can be the star, they can be the thing that you most look forward to.
Yeah. So how do you use baking to support your health goals?
That's a good question.
Mhm.
I don't really know if I have a good answer for that right now. I feel like that's something that I'm still trying to figure out day by day. I think that if anything, I can use it as a way to realize that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And also, I think that there is something to be said about experimenting with your bakes. Like maybe if, maybe you have a goal that's similar to mine where you want to keep an eye on your added sugars. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm tired of eating an apple at like after lunch, but I still want something sweet. What do I do? So, in that sense, I think it is fun to experiment a little bit. Like, I will make this, and like, I know that dates are not everybody's favorite thing. I love dates. I think that they are really, really delicious. And they're also incredibly sweet without any added sugar being present.
Mhm.
And I've made this for a few years now, but I will get a bunch of dates, let them soak in hot water for a few minutes, and then blend them together to make a paste. and then
Mhm.
I will add in almond flour and cocoa powder, and it's so delicious, and it tastes to me, it tastes like a brownie, but with the dates, you get some fiber, and with almond flour, you get fiber and protein, and with cocoa powder, especially if you're using dark cocoa, you get some antioxidants with dark
Yeah.
chocolate. And if you put like maybe some shredded coconut in there, you get more fiber. And
Yeah.
it becomes like this really amazing, non-restrictive way of like keeping up with the goal, but also enjoying something that in my mind tastes exactly like an almond joy. So
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, there
Mhm.
are so many good, like, fruits, like, have that natural sweetness that I find that, like, my body does not react the same way. Like,
With fruits as it does with
yeah,
like a cupcake
yeah,
or something.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Interesting.
that icky mouth feel that I get, like,
Mhm.
if it's fruit, that does not happen. It's so
That's
weird.
yeah, I wonder if it's only, like, maybe processed sugar or something. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be. And the cool thing is that because I know that, that ends up making me run to the bathroom to like brush my teeth. Once I brush my
Mhm.
teeth, I'm fine. So it's so
Interesting.
weird.
I mean, it's probably better for your teeth too because the less time all of that sugar has to stay on your teeth, like, the less chance for cavities and all that, so hooray.
Yep, I'm planning to keep all my teeth.
Yeah, that is always a good goal, I think. That can that be a health goal this year? Just keep all our teeth.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah, and that's the other reason why I wanted to avoid a lot of added sugars because 'cause I've had a lot of dental problems. Mostly I think they're mostly genetic because my sister has also had a lot of dental problems, but, even if it is genetic, like, diet does play a huge role in your dental health.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that the knowledge that we learn, like I feel like it's so helpful and it informs how we treat our bodies.
Yeah.
But then there is that downside of like when you take that knowledge and almost weaponize it against yourself. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
this is bad, and so I must deprive my body of what it naturally wants.
Absolutely, and I think that's such a great point you bring up about how easy it is to weaponize these guidelines that you've set for yourself. I think it's way too easy for goals to become rules that kind of threaten to strangle you almost, and that's where a lot of shame and guilt come in, and we all know that long-term change doesn't is not born out of shame and guilt. It's born out of genuinely wanting to make that change. And sometimes it can be a little bit of gentle parenting with myself where I'm like, "Hey, you've already had like this thing earlier. Maybe let's cut down on added sugar for the rest of the day." And then it also comes with trying to talk down that inner child in my head who is so concerned that she's never going to see this food again. And I will pull her aside and be like, hey, it's okay. You will get this tomorrow. It will be here tomorrow. You don't need to eat it all right away. And even if it's not here tomorrow, if you're really that concerned about it, I will go and I will use my money that I have as an adult with a bank account and I will purchase it from the grocery store and we will have it and enjoy it. And that's how I got to talk to her. Do you find that you have to have like a similar like narrative or do you have a lot of food noise in your head that you have to contend with like, like as you bake or as you try and maintain your health goals or anything?
Yeah, I think that yes, there definitely is that inner voice of like, oh, you shouldn't be eating this. Oh,
Mhm.
this is not good for your health. Like there is definitely that, and I always end up stopping when that negative talk comes out.
Like you're
That
mindful of it, like you're aware that it's negative?
yeah, because that
Mhm.
is really, I would say, probably for the majority of us, is based in that inner voice that is encoded by our parents.
I think you're onto something.
And that's not really you talking. It's like this old voice that, gave you life that is criticizing you. And kind of out of love, but it's like this misdirected love.
Yeah, exactly, and it upholds standards that nobody could ever truly uphold for the long term. Like,
Yes.
it's yeah, that's hard. It's hard to have that voice in your head all the time.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right about the mindfulness in that having a mindful mindset.
Mhm, yep.
Just being aware of what you're putting in your body and how you're talking about it to yourself. It's okay to have those negative thoughts. It's what you initially thought, oh, this is bad for me, but you can still be aware that that's what you're telling yourself, and being able to pause and just look at it as a thought and let it go.
Mhm. Yes, exactly, and I love that kind of track of thinking because it's basically like you acknowledge that that thought is there. You're not trying to brush it away and banish it. It's like you make space for it and you say, "Hey, I see you. I am hearing your concerns. I hear, like what you're feeling is valid." Also, it is not something that we need to dwell on because it's something that is not going to help us get to our goals and it's not making the day easier. It's not making this journey easier. So we will, it can exist in this space, but it does not get to direct the next step that we take basically.
Yep, yep. And we've done some work on this.
Mhm,
It's this therapy called ACT, acceptance commitment therapy.
mhm.
And it's just accepting that this is the good and the bad, is it's all within you.
Yeah.
You don't want to just banish everything that's bad, because that's still part of you. That makes you who you are. But you are committed to your values, your goals, and if you value being healthy and your goal is to be maybe a certain like look that you
Mhm.
want to achieve, you can have those thoughts that are intrusive but still commit to your goals.
Yes, exactly. I completely agree. It's like I love how the whole purpose of it, like you said, is to make room for it all. Because if you spend all your time trying to banish away the negative stuff, it's like first of all, that's exhausting. Second of all, you're never gonna win that battle because it's always gonna be there. Also, we'll get philosophical for a second and just say you can't have like the negative stuff without the positive because then how would the positive stuff be positive if there wasn't negative stuff there too?
Yeah.
So, getting philosophical here, but there is definitely I think a lot of psychology that comes into play whenever you talk about like health goals in general. And I love that we have, over the years, learned how to use some of that psychology to help us do the things that we enjoy doing and allow ourselves to keep aligned with our health goals. And in the same way, you can make room for all of the things in your life that you want to accomplish, whether that's cutting out a whole lot of unnecessary added sugars, whether that's like baking a croquembouche, whether it's hitting a new exercise goal, whatever it is, like it doesn't have to be an either or. It is probably even better if it's an and kind of a situation. It can
Yeah.
be an and, it doesn't have to be an or. So
Yep. Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like there's this philosophy in improv, like they call it yes and I
Mhm,
love that philosophy for life, because like it's just we're living this life and you don't want to take away anything. You just want to keep adding. And I love the way you don't restrict yourself, like the
mhm,
way you want to just add more veggies. Yes, you'll have your cake, but you're going to have it with, blueberries and strawberries. And that's
mhm.
that yes and mindset.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that everybody's different. Like, for some people, it might not work, but I know that for me, it definitely helps a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty deep conversation, and I hope it's helpful for everyone who's listening.
Yeah, and if anybody else has like tips or tricks on keeping up with a baking hobby while maintaining health goals, let us know because we love hearing about them. We're super into nutrition and psychology and baking and all that jazz. Yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let us know if that's something, a direction that you want us to go in, like if you want to hear more about this.
Yeah, we can definitely do more. Yeah, there is a deep ocean of content that we have not yet plunged.
Yes.
Very cool. But yeah, we hope you guys really like this episode and we cannot wait to see you again in the next one. So, yeah, thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you for joining.
All right, see you next time.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
That's it for this episode of Cozy Kitchen.
We're so glad you stopped by. We can't wait to see you the next time we sit by the fire. See you next time.
Next time.